Hello guys, greetings from wherever you are watching. Let us continue with our topic. So we want to take it from where we left it, and we are going to look at how to get where we left. How to get absolute error under subtraction. And division. Remember previously we tackled how to get absolute error under addition and multiplication. They rhyme. So subtraction rhymes together with division, and addition rhymes together with multiplication. So here both subtraction and division share common method when calculating the absolute error. The procedure for arrival to the answer are the same, only when you are dealing with subtraction and division. So let us check out some of the example here. So example number 1, Janet divided 25.632 and 5.2. Janet divided 25.632 and 5.2. What was her absolute error in division? Now guys, this one is division, totally different from what we were doing in a multiplication or maybe in addition. So the procedure will still remain, the arrangement work. So we shall have at this point actual, then we shall have at this other end maximum, and on this other side minimum. Just have a table that looks simple that way. So remember one thing, this is division. So for division or multiplication, let the greater number be at top. Let the greater number or the biggest number be at the top. Like for instance, we have 25.632 divided by 5.2. So we shall have it this way, 25.632, and down here we shall have 5.2. Now, what is the accuracy in 25.632? The accuracy there is 0.001. Then you multiply by a half to get what? To get the absolute error. So having 0.001 multiplied by a half, we get 0.0005. So add that 25, add 0.0005 to 25.632 to get the maximum, and subtract to get the minimum. So adding that, we shall have 25.632 5, and subtracting 25.632 minus 0.005, we shall have 25. Let me squeeze my work here, 25.6315. That is it. That is it, guys. So let's now do 5.2. Now 5.2, the accuracy there is 0.1 multiplied by a half to get the absolute error, which will be 0.05. 0.05. So having this, we add to get the maximum, 5.25. We subtract to get the minimum. That one is 5.15. 5.15, guys. So then we have a line drawn. Now, when you want to get the total, the division total, I mean this blank spaces remaining, you don't divide directly the way we were taking. Let me use addition. The way we were taking, for example, if this were the addition, we were taking 25.6325, we added to 5.25 directly, just like that. The same to this, the same to this. The same we applied to multiplication. If we were to multiply, then we were taking directly 25.6325 multiplied by 5.25. 25.632 multiplied by 5.2, so forth and so on. But now, when it comes to division, subtraction, that procedure changes. The way we shall get our our sum or our total or our final working will be different from the procedure we were applying in multiplication or addition. So here you shall do, like for example, if you want to get the maximum division, like here we are dividing, but we are not dividing them directly. Now, if you want to get the maximum division, you shall cross. Then you just write there divide. That means our maximum division will be given by 25.6325 divided by 5.15. And what will be our answer? Just write all of it. That is 4.977184.466. That is it. If you want to get minimum division, then you crisscross, then you just write there divide, or there is no need of indicating. Then you take 25.6315 divide by 5.25. That one you are getting the minimum division. So we are having 4.882190476. We are having that. Now, when it comes to the actual column, you just divide it directly the way it is. So you take 25.632 divided by 5.2. Here nothing changes. In this column. So 4.929 769. Now, after having this, now we can get our absolute error for the combined numbers. So our absolute error will be maximum value minus minimum value divided by 2. What is our maximum value? That is 4.977 minus the minimum, that is 4.882190476. Then we divide by 2. So having that in our calculator, we shall get we shall have our final answer as let me just repeat. That is 4.977184466 subtract 2 4.882190476, then divide by 2. Yeah, I we shall get our answer as 0.0474969995. Remember to write the whole answer. Then after writing the whole answer is when you can round off your answer. That is the first example with the division. Now let's take an example with subtraction. Let's take an example with the subtraction. So listen. Juma subtracted 36.21 from 100. Juma subtracted 36.21 from 100. What was his absolute error in subtraction? What was his absolute error in subtraction? Now, we shall arrange our work as usual. Actual, we have the maximum column and we have the minimum column. So, we are having 100. We are having 36.21 subtracted from 100. That is 100 minus 36.21. Now, what is the accuracy in 100? Remember, these are all a number. So, accuracy in 100 is 1. So, you take that 1, you multiply it by a half. You get what? 0.5. Now, you add that 0.5 to 100 to get the maximum. And you take 100 minus that to get the minimum, which is 99.5. You subtract, you subtract. Now, coming to the next part, that is 36.21. What is the accuracy in 36.21? We are having 0.01, then we multiply by a half. That is 0.01, you multiply by a half. You shall get 0.005. Then add to 36.21 to get the maximum error. So upon adding 36.21, shall get that. How about subtracting? We shall have 36.205. Now, when it comes to getting their maximum subtraction. To get the maximum subtraction, you crisscross from the maximum column that is at the top to the end or to the bottom of the minimum column. Get me clearly. To get the maximum division, you will crisscross starting from the column of maximum, the top column, all the way to the down part of the minimum column. Now, then you subtract. Just right there, subtract. Or maybe sub. But still refers to the same thing. Still means the same thing. So, you take 100.05, you subtract 36.205. So, you shall get the maximum. The maximum subtraction. That one will give us 64.295. How about when it comes to minimum? You crisscross from that end to that end. Now, here we subtract, but make sure you arrange your work neatly. So, have 99.5 subtract 36.215. We shall have 63.285. Then the actual column is just direct. Take 100 minus 36.21, you get 63.79. Now, the question are to get the absolute error. So to get the absolute error, talk of maximum. What is our maximum? That is 64.295 minus the minimum, which is 63.285, divide by 2. Divide. by 2. The main reason why I'm getting absolute error in most of the cases, remember I told you that the only challenge when it comes to this topic of approximation and errors is always to get the absolute error. And once you have the absolute error, getting percentage error, getting relative error, those won't be difficult. Now, what is our answer there? 64.295 minus 63.285, then divide by 2. So we shall have our answer as 0.505 as our answer. So listen, under subtraction and division. Under subtraction and division, what we've just tackled right now, the bigger number must come first for you to achieve your answer accurately. Remember, you cannot take 36.21, you subtract 200. How? That one will not make sense. Even though we are talking of something to do with the absolute when it comes to this topic, but you have to be realistic when it comes to arrangement of your work. Like, it is true, someone can take 36.21 to get 63.729, but it will be quite impossible taking 36.21, you subtract 100. You will end up with the negative, even though those negatives can be absoluted. Like, I mean, you can just have that slash symbol and an examiner will understand, but that one doesn't necessary when it comes to some cases. Now, okay, so the procedure which we've done here, an examiner will test it differently. You only want to be asked that Janet divided, I don't know, Juma subtracted. No, those ones won't always be the type of question you will come across. Sometimes they are used in area, they are used in division, volume, getting volume, such type of uh, of parts. You will interact with them when you do a lot of revision. Okay, guys, I'm sorry for taking long. Now, there's something I want to share with you. There are some terms that when you come across with, they're not just terms. They're not just language that an examiner has decided to use. They're not just languages that examiner has decided to paste in that particular paper. And they are very rare to get. But when doing exams like mock, like you're competing with other schools, you will find them a lot. Now, but it's only one. That is when it comes to there's a formula which is never in this book, this KLB book of mathematics. It is never there. An examiner will ask you to get the what is it? Greatest percentage error or the maximum percentage error. Be very careful when you come across something to do with the greatest stroke maximum, smallest or smaller, but let me use of smallest is just smallest, I don't know, but I hope you are understanding. Smallest stroke minimum, percentage error, or sometimes an examiner will just tell you to get the error. When it comes to these questions, they are different. They have different procedure on how they are being tackled. And we shall do more examples before we end our lesson today. So to get the greatest stroke the maximum error, to get greatest stroke maximum error, the formula you will use there is taking maximum value, take maximum value minus the actual value. You will understand it better when we'll be doing our revision. So make sure you will be among the people present or watching that particular revision of this, what I'm talking about here. This is the formula to use. This is the formula to use. Remember, an examiner will tell you, get the maximum percentage error. In your mind, you know very well that getting percentage error is given by what? Taking the absolute error over the actual value, you multiply by 100%. But this one is wrong. This one is wrong. An examiner has used a certain time there, a certain term. And which term is it? It maximum, greatest, minimum, smallest. So make sure you are not confused. Make sure you don't get confused when it comes to getting percentage error and getting maximum percentage error. Those two terms are different. Getting maximum percentage error or greatest or smallest or minimum and just getting percentage error. They're different. Okay. Now, what if you are to get the smallest or the minimum error? What if you are to get the smallest or the minimum error? The formula remains the same. You take minimum value the formula doesn't remains the same, but the formula is different. So you take the minimum value, you subtract actual. I mean the procedure remains the same, but not the formula. So take minimum value minus actual value. So long as the question is accompanied by the word minimum, smallest, maximum, or maybe greatest. That is only the part that we can use these terms. But if the question is just get the error, the absolute error, or maybe get the percentage error without the word maximum, smallest, minimum, greatest, just go direct with the formula I've given you earlier. Okay. So let us look on another thing. Let us check on another thing now. Let us check on this. Other relevant and important concepts that are also highly tested in exams under this topic. What are those concepts? What are those terms? What are those languages that an examiner will use? Number one, So I'll only read them, but we shall do them in the next lesson. Now, number 1, use of the word exact. Make sure you follow. Use of the word. Use of the word exact. Use of the word exact. Number 2, use of the word to the nearest. Use of the word. Use of the word to the nearest. I think there are only 2. And number 3, use of inequality sign in this particular topic. Use of inequality use of inequality sign. These are the only 3 terms we shall consider, which we shall do them deeply. So I thank you today for being with me, for listening, and I hope you are learning something at the end of the day. Kindly, what I want to urge you today, that knowledge is something that you should not own yourself. Instead, learn to share knowledge. You see, if you teach someone something like mathematics, chemistry, and the person understands very well, you are also learning. But that is not the main reason why we do help one another. We help one another because being in school or studying in school is something that is not permanent. After doing your KCSE or the particular last exam that you'll be sitting for to leave the particular school, while you will be at home, life will change. I'm telling you the truth. Life will change. Like you'll be just in home for all those months. You have nothing to do. No one is pressuring you. And to make matters worse, you will have no friends by then. Those friends whom you've learned with, they'll be not there at that particular time. And you will start something, but things will be just difficult. So I want to remind you that learn to share knowledge. You never know, like you don't know exactly the background of someone. Though some people do brag that they come from rich backgrounds, but that is not the main thing. Sometimes you don't have to judge a book by its cover. Just help anyone. Just help anyone coming to you. Because at the end, some of these people that we help a lot, they're the ones whom later will come to help us achieve our future dreams. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. So guys, kindly follow up and let us meet in the next part. Thank you.